Okay.
Sweet, we're in. Okay, I think we are plugged in and rolling. Happy Monday. It is Grace and Saul back for your Monday dose of mojo and motivation to start your week right on Change School TV. So in case you missed last week's episode, we talked about the why, what, and how to find work abroad. Plus, we had a cheat sheet with our curated list of helpful resources and links for finding work and getting yourself sorted if you're considering or in the process of relocating. So if you missed that, you can head over to our YouTube. You can catch the replay, or if you prefer reading, we've got our recap blog post, which we do after every live session, and you can also snag the free worksheet from there. So just head over to our blog if you want to grab that. And so since last week's episode was part of our how-to tutorial series, tonight's episode, we're on number 21, is part of our mindset series. And that really aims to challenge your thinking and your approach to career success by addressing key topics and practices that are so important for our daily work life. And a great example, which is our topic for tonight's session, is networking. So how we network, why we do it, and how we approach it. So most of us already know why networking is important for a successful career, because it's how we find opportunities, collaborators, new clients, partners, and even professional contacts. But because of tech and social media, we've pretty much been able to take networking to a whole new level. And this has kind of created like a modern challenge of how do we create and sustain more meaningful relationships? And that's true for our personal lives and our professional lives. So the real question, or the types of questions we want to address today, is how do we bring real human connection back to our relationships? And how can we be and feel more authentic in our daily interactions? And how do we create a sustainable practice of nurturing our relationships in a meaningful way? So that's the topic for tonight, is how to transform your networking mindset and to start focusing on, quality over quantity when it comes to your relationships, and transactional versus transformational connections. So how do we reciprocate value? And how do we create meaningful versus superficial relationships? And all of this is really about how to cultivate your tribe. So we're going to talk about why you need a tribe, who you need in your tribe, and how to find them. And we're going to share some tips for building and nurturing a killer tribe. So Grace, I think we're all set up, right?
Yeah, we are. So I just want to quickly chime in before we go into everything. Yep. And there's a bunch of people watching and signing in from so many different places, I think. So as always, I am checking our Facebook Live and who's tuning in. If you want to just give us some love, you can. If you want to share where you're tuning in from, that would be awesome. And anything else that we can sort of, that you want to share with us, let us know.
Yeah, if you guys are excited about tonight's topic, or for those of you who are already superstar tribe builders, give us a shout. If you're picking up what we're putting down, let us know. And if you have any comments at all, as we keep our jibber jabber going as we do, then hop into the comments and give us a holla.
Exactly, totally. Okay, so let's get going. All right, first up, why do we need a tribe? Okay, there's a few reasons, right? But let's start about what is a tribe. And for us, a tribe are really the people that are your support system, right? They're the people that you can call for advice. They're the people that you can get a hold of in order to achieve your goals. They're your people that are going to help you get momentum, right? They might even help you brainstorm ideas or look at finding new solutions to problems that you're facing. They might mentor you. They might provide you some guidance. They really might be there just to, be a listening ear, right? Or someone that you can just blab to and they can sit there and listen and not necessarily have to give you any feedback. there can also be people that can help with introductions, connections, referrals, any of those reasons. That's really what we're looking at when we talk about a tribe. So think about your tribe as a garden. It really needs to be tended to in order to flourish and bloom, right? And at the same time, we need to be mindful about the people in our tribe that may suck energy from us, and that may have, different reasons for connecting to us that doesn't necessarily work for us where we are right now. It doesn't mean that you totally disregard them, but at times when you really need to build or foster the tribe for yourself, you need to be a little bit selfish, right? And just as you would with a garden, you need to water it, you need to nurture the relationships that you value, and you really need to cultivate a habit of doing these things consistently. At the same time, from my own experience, I know I go through waves where I'm putting myself out there, I'm connecting with different people. And then there's other times where I need to remove myself and just be really insular and focus on the tasks at hand and my key priorities and my goals in order to reach my vision. So understand that tribe building doesn't have to be something that you need to be doing every time. You can have seasons, right? As does your garden. You will have seasons as to, when you really need to grow or foster your tribe even more. But the thing is even throughout the year or throughout the time that you build a relationship with someone, you can't just connect and then forget about them, right? There needs to be some continuing relationship in some shape or form. You just don't have to meet them all the time. So when it comes to your career, it doesn't really matter, how many LinkedIn contacts or Facebook friends you have, right? It really is the people that you spend the most time with that's going to determine your success. And this is extremely true when we're going through career change or trying to navigate a career transition, or maybe when you're trying to build your business and really grow your business to a certain way. But having that tribe to support you and keep you accountable to your goals and go to the full journey with you will make such a tremendous difference in not only, the actions that you take or the perspectives that you gain, but also in the speed and effectiveness of your efforts. So building a tribe is essential at so many different parts of our lives. And the goal of a tribe is to build on shared values, shared ideas, and really to enable everyone in the tribe to do more and to be more and to provide mutual support and accountability. It's got to be something that works for both parties, right? So you've probably heard the saying, no man is an island. And it speaks to the fact that everyone needs help from others every now and then, because we all have limitations. And no matter how great we are, and no matter, how much experience we've had, or no matter how much we've lived in the country that we've lived, or how long we've lived in the country for, we do need other people around us. There's always things that we can learn from others. There's things that we can teach others, and there's things that we just can't do alone and shouldn't do alone. So no matter how independent or self-sufficient you feel, or maybe you think that you are, or you don't need anymore, everyone needs a support system in some shape or form. And especially when you're pursuing your dream, your purpose, and your vision, right? So one of our favorite proverbs is this African proverb, which some of you may have heard. And it's, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So really, that summarizes why you need a tribe, right? You need a tribe because you need to be heard and seen by those who are going to help you and push yourself further in life and career. And you need to learn and listen and become a better leader. That's also why you need a tribe, right? It's for yourself, but it's also for others. And at the same time, you want to build connections, right? You want to build lifelong friendships. You want to build new perspectives and all of these things around the common values or interests and goals that we have. You need a tribe because you also want to feel a sense of belonging. This sense of community is something that we often forget about, right? And that can be in whatever shape or form, whether it's through your yoga, whether it's through your school, whether it's through your company, right? There needs to be some sense of community. And for us in general as humans, we want to have that sense of belonging, right? That gives us so much more purpose and meaning to our lives and our work. And if we're missing that sense of belonging, we can feel disconnected, right? The other reason we need a tribe is to exchange value, right? Helping us reach our potential, helping others reach theirs. And at the same time, it allows us to create change, right? So being with these group of people, these people that might inspire you, that might push you or challenge you, that might support you and really drive momentum for you and accountability, or vice versa, right? Helps us take action and stay focused, and really keep our eye on the prize. But most importantly, I think the essential of a tribe is that when we're down, we really are, looking at our support system and our tribe to help us get that momentum, stay motivated, and be positive, knowing that every small step we're taking is in the right direction.
Awesome. So everybody needs a tribe. We got that down. And Grace has given you tons of reasons why and how you can benefit from having a tribe. So I'm going to jump in and share a little bit about who you want to think about including in your tribe and where you can start to find them. So to start off, I just want to clarify that your tribe isn't necessarily your family or your friends or even your best friends. It might be, but those aren't necessarily the same group of people that belong in your tribe, especially if you're building one with, for the purpose of furthering yourself in a certain area or in your career, etc. So your tribe should definitely comprise of people who you value, who you trust, and who you feel a connection to. And they should also know you well. So that doesn't mean that you only have people you know in your tribe. You can definitely make new connections and expand on your tribe, but it's all built on, like Grace said, that continuity, that mutual value, and then the relationship develops from there. So the best way to start finding your tribe or thinking about who could be in your tribe is by starting to look at people who are already in your network. So think about the qualities, the characteristics, the interests that you have in common, and how you can use that as a starting point to build a real connection. So you can look, in addition, you can look for on and offline communities, right? Networks or events that are related to key interest areas for you, or activities that you enjoy to do, or hobbies that you have. So it doesn't all have to be serious, or business related or career related. But obviously that's a huge reason to build a tribe. But there can be other social interest related types of tribes that you build for different reasons. So the key is to really think about, what areas do you want to build knowledge, skills, maybe friendships or experience in? And, more than just identifying those groups, also think about how you can engage and take active participation in these groups. So really it's about being intentional with your tribe building, and thinking about how you can create and nurture a holistic group of people so that you have different perspectives and backgrounds and experiences that you can all kind of pull together and share. So later on, we'll share a link with you for tonight's worksheet, but basically we have a nicely designed tribe building worksheet to help you kind of start mapping out what I've just said to people in your network and really think about who you want to start working with and engaging for your tribe building efforts. So really, just to recap again, some of the people to kind of, even while we're blabbing here tonight, to start thinking about already is like, who can you already think of or identify in your existing network that are like-minded, but also different-minded, right? So it's not just creating a group of people just like you, but people who are also different from you as well. But, that you have that sort of constructive dialogue and communication so that you can have debates and healthy discussions, which don't always have to be in agreement with each other, right? Also think about who your cheerleaders and challengers are. So who are the people that are always there to kind of tell you you're amazing, to support you, to give you that, moral boost when you really need it the most, but also the people who are the people that challenge you, right? So these aren't the yes men. They're the guys who usually come to you and challenge a new idea with something you maybe haven't thought of, right? Or offer a way for you to really stretch yourself and push boundaries a little bit more. Those people are great to have for your tribe because that's how you grow, and that's how you learn from each other. Also think about who are your inspirers and who are influencers. So who are the people that sometimes you talk to, or when you guys have, quick catch-ups, you're like, oh my God, this guy's amazing, and I wish I was as good as them at X, or I wish I could learn this skill from them, or I wish they have a great strength in a certain area, and that's really something I want to develop, right? So think about the people that motivate and inspire you, and also think about, depending on your situation and what you really need, sometimes it's really helpful to have key influencers. So people who can amplify a cause or a belief that you're focused on, or can help to amplify you if you're trying to develop a personal or professional brand. Or they are people who have access to an even wider network and community that you can also leverage and activate. Also think about dreamers and doers. So there are obviously two profiles on the different end of the spectrum, but they're both equally important to have, right? You want those people who have those big visions and believe that like nothing's impossible, and are always like charged up and energized to like go after a vision. Those people are really important. But not even more important, equally important are the doers, right? The people who can actually see those visions through, make those ideas happen, and enable other people to get things done, right? So you need thinkers and believers. You need achievers and advocates. I think the key thing that everyone in your tribe needs to share in common is that they need to see your greatness and your value, even if sometimes you don't. So we all kind of have these low moments, or, doubts at times, insecurities, or just times when things are really tough, and we all need that kind of person to remind us that we're not failures and that things are going to get better, right? So you need those people who know you well enough, understand you well enough, know what you've done or what you've achieved well enough to really go and, stand at the front lines with you in your journey and towards your goal. So those are the kind of people you should definitely think about keeping in your tribe. And now I'm going to quickly take a moment to share the people that you do not want in your tribe, right? And nothing is fixed or static, right? So as your tribe building, and like Grace said, it may not be something you're focused on every single day or for, the entirety of a year or a certain period, but it is like a garden about occasionally weeding out the dead stuff, right? The things that are no longer healthy. So, who are those people? One of them is definitely naysayers. So these are the people who are always negative, who are fixed in the way they think, and tend to be really resistant to change. So think about different, situations or conversations that you've had with different people who are in your network, and really think about, are they usually the ones to, encourage you, run with your ideas, brainstorm with you, ideate further? Yes, they might challenge you and say, okay, have you thought about X, Y, and Z? But that's very different from someone who's always saying, okay, no, this isn't going to work. Wait, there's a problem. Or I don't think that's a good idea, before even exploring it. So there is sometimes a fine line, but really reflect on that and be selective about how you make that distinction. Second kind of people you want out are the takers. So people who suck your time and energy, or even worse, take you for granted. I'm sure if you took a moment to think about it, you could probably name one or two people off the top of your head who do that. Keep them out of your tribe. You can continue to have a relationship with them in other ways if it serves you, but I would say keep them far, far away in general at all times. 3, I call them the ungratefuls. So these are the people who are constantly complaining, always blaming other people or external situations for situations that they find themselves in. They don't take ownership or responsibility for, why certain things pan out the way they do, and they always seem to be unhappy. So, these are the guys with that gray cloud over their head all the time, and that rainstorm that they've got pouring on them ends up permeating on everybody else. Don't want those guys. Not in your tribe, and not anywhere else, really. And last but not least, specifically more so for your tribe, is you want to avoid the play it safers. These are the people who are they're resting on their laurels. They're celebrating, being mediocre. They don't want to challenge themselves. They're not interested in stretching you or anybody else. To each their own. But when you're looking at tribe building, if you're going to put in that time and effort and invest your energy into that, then make it work for you. Make it something that pushes you beyond what you think is possible, rather than just playing it safe. That's my little rant for who you want in and who you want out. And then Grace is going to share some pro tips for tribe building, right?
Awesome. Yeah. So we're going to end with some tribe building tips. Okay. Just want to say there's a bunch of you guys signing in, and it's so nice to see so many of you guys here who I know have been wanting to connect or watch us. So it's really great. Okay. So let's get into the tribe building tips. So your vibe attracts your tribe. I think that's something that we really want to emphasize. And if you want to find or attract your people, you really have to live and breathe your own values, and you have to demonstrate the qualities and behaviors that you value yourself, right? So these are a couple of things as to how we can do that. Most importantly is being authentic and true to who you are, right? So you need to really be able to own who you are and be able to be yourself 150%. You need to know what you value, what inspires you, or what interests you, but also how you want to show up in the world, right? If you want to be around a certain type of people, if you really want to build those real connections, and if you want to be around people who are real, friendly, open, vulnerable, then you need to be those things too, right? A lot of the times, we can shut off some of the parts of us, and it doesn't always attract the right type of people that we're wanting to connect with. And that then breeds frustration. So really, authenticity, I think, for us is essential, and everything we do is also, something that we live and breathe. So being authentic and true to who you are is tip number one, right? Tip number two is look for connection. When you're going to events, or connecting online, it's not just about selling your product or what you do or selling yourself, right? Or just talking about yourself. But every time you go and exchange with someone or a person that you've met online or offline, right? Really try and engage in conversations and try and connect with them on a deeper level than just, what do you do? Right? Or just, how are you? What are you doing at this event? Try and ask other types of questions, right? And we're more than happy to share some of those types of questions if you want. Drop us a line. But the thing is engage in conversation so that it can be not just one directional, but a two-way conversation, and not just having the other person listen to you talk or listen to you selling your product, right? When you go to events or when you're on online forums even, answer questions. Look for things that you can share your knowledge in or provide value or add some sort of perspective or input to. And that's when you're going to start engaging with other people. And you might be surprised at the type of people that you start connecting with. But when you look to create these meaningful connections, you'll be amazed at the type of people that you really, really build true relationships with, even within 30 minutes of connecting with someone, right? So let's cut the small talk and focus on exchanging real value instead. But okay, at the same time, I want to, emphasize here that you got to start somewhere. So if you're used to getting, if you're used to having small talk, which for me sometimes is the easiest way, right? But then try and go into something deeper. Ask them about their hobbies. Ask them about things that are totally not relevant to where you are at that time, and build a relationship outside of just on a work basis or on a career basis, right? And you'll quickly realize whether or not there are some similarities with that person, or whether there's like minds, or maybe there's completely different perspectives, but that's something that you're looking for and wanting to attract. Right? So if you need to start with the small talk, that's okay. We're saying, how do you try and move away from that eventually so that you can start being completely true and being vulnerable and opening yourself up there. Okay, so tip number 3 is exude positivity, right? There's nothing worse, and I have definitely been around this as well as worked around, some of this, but you don't want to be negative Nancy. And, negativity or that feeling really comes off your energy. And as soon as you walk into a room, if you're pouty or you're not happy or something, it attracts that type of people, those type of people, right? So you really want to try and get yourself ready, put your mindset into positive, poly, right? And get yourself ready to get into that door and just be grateful for what you've had, what's happened over the day, what's happened over the year. Just think of all the positive things, right? And think about it when you interact with someone who is a negative Nancy or really, I guess, complaining all the time or whatever it is. You don't want to talk to them. You actually will retract from them rather than want to try and share a little bit more about yourself. So be someone that you'd want to get to know. Or be friends with, right? And it's not about being fake, definitely not. But I think there's a difference and there's a fine line between being fake and being, positive, right? And you don't have to be overly excited or pretending that you've never had a bad day. But at the same time, we don't need to bring that into the environment that we're going into. And maybe once you've had a relationship with them for a while, then yes, I don't like it when people are like, hey, how are you? And then you're like, oh, I've had a terrible day or it's been a full day or whatever. And then they're like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. No, it's actually okay. I'm just airing to you that I've had a certain type of a day. I'm not expecting sympathy or empathy or any of those things. And I think, we need to definitely be more okay with saying that our day hasn't been going well. But when you're going into an event to build your connections and build your tribe, you want to try and start on a positive note, right? Because it is first impressions do count. So it's about being a person who chooses to see the brighter side of things, right? Your cup is half full or half empty. Think about that, right? And also think about what can be improved and see the beauty in other people. Oftentimes we are quick to judge, but if we can be positive in our outlooks, then we're more likely to see the brighter side of everyone as well. Okay, last tip is essential because we're all about growing and self-development, is focus on learning and growth, right? So when we're building a tribe, really try and surround yourself by people who are driven to be better, do better, add value, achieve, succeed, and take action. But think about what are the important things for you. So for myself, in the different times that I build or the different tribes that I've built around me, right? There's that saying as well, for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? And I think there's moments where I've had people around me or my tribe around me that have needed me, that have been there to support me perhaps more on a emotional level, and then for others it's really more on my personal front of things. The other side is on a business side, but then I also have a sphere of people in my tribe that I can connect to really push me further on my career side. So think about your tribe not just one dimensionally, but think about the types of people, like Salonia had shared as well, right, where it's like, what type of people do you want in there? And if you're talking about success, what does success look like for you? And what does success in that person that you're going to connect with or want to build with in your tribe look like? So really try and go deeper into these things and, reflect on what those things mean. If taking action, is it someone who's like super fast paced and constantly doing things? Or is it someone who's a slow and steady pace, right? So there's different times that you're going to need those different types of people, but just be aware of where you are right now, where it is that you're wanting to go to, and what type of people are essential in curating or you curating in your tribe, right? And I think something we want to share here is you're going to have a huge network of people, right? Everyone has right now a significant network of people. But when we're talking about your tribe, it's sort of your inner circle in a way without sounding too elitism, right? But it's really about your core circle, about those people right now that are going to help you move forward. And it can grow, it can shrink, it can, expand into multiple tribes, but really think about it right now for where you are and where you want to go. Who are those essentials? And maybe try and think of 10 people. Maybe we can give a number, right? Because some people are like, wow, how many people do I need to build in my tribe? But, I think put a number and go, I need 5 people. one to help mentor, one to help me, challenge myself around maybe the idea of, finance or business or making money or whatever, right? The other might be about leveling myself up in a career or moving into a new industry. So really think about the types of people that you need. And hopefully those tips will help you not only now, but as you continue to evolve your tribe and build and morph your tribe in the different stages.
Yep, exactly. No, that's awesome. And I think it's a really good segue actually into the last thing that we wanted to share, which is our worksheet for this week. And actually that's exactly how we framed it. So there are some questions in there for you to really think about. Exactly like Grace said, what is it that you're needing right now? What are those values that are really important to you? What are those characteristics or traits? How would you want the look and feel of your tribe to be? And I think if you start there with the foundation, right? And I think inside the worksheet, we maybe gave you, 6 different people that you can kind of fill in the names. But again, I think, it does always help to have a starting point. So I would say start small and build from there. And just focus on quality over quantity. Even if it's only 2 people that you can think of that are really ticking the boxes that are most important for you right now, that's perfectly fine. 3's company, and maybe that's how you're meeting initially until you create a system or a regularity or something that works for you for checking in, for touching base, and for helping one another. And over time, that can grow, like Grace said. It can evolve, it can increase, it can decrease, it can change completely. So all of that is totally okay. Just remember that nothing's set in stone. So we'll share the link as always, but you can grab it at bit.ly/changeschooltv21 download. And as always, we'd love to hear, how it goes for you guys, if it's helpful, if you have any questions, if you're stuck on anything. And for those of you who, because our main focus right now really is all around career change and transition, because that's something that's happening at just such a crazy, fast rate, more and more, as we're seeing like every day. But for those of you, if that's you, if you're in this transition or you're at a career crossroads or you're thinking about a career change, and you're not already inside our Career Shifters group on Facebook, then get in there. That's a tribe ready-made for you, or at least a starting point for you to have people in a similar situation who are there to go further and to help others go further. So we hope we see you inside there. If you're not there already, we hope you download the worksheet and the snazzy little template we've got for you. And we hope to hear from you once you've gotten your hands on it.
Yep. So next week, we are back on Monday, 8:30 p.m. And we'll share a little bit more of what the topic is the day before, so that you guys.
We can give a hint, right? We've got a special guest. We've got a tribe building queen who is going to come and share some of her tips, a bit of her journey, right? We'll keep it a little secret because we like little secrets. We're silly like that. But we will be announcing it very soon. Right?
So actually, that's our first live guest that we're going to start bringing in. So it'll be super interesting, and join in live, ask questions as well. And as always, if there is anything that you want further insights into, just drop us a line. But do the worksheets. Send us your worksheets. We can check them out as well. We love that. Or even do your worksheets and pop it into our Career Shifters group. That's actually probably a better idea, because then you'll have over 500 plus people in that group that will really be able to give you a little bit more insight. So the more, the merrier. Okay, guys. So have an awesome Monday. We hope that you start building your tribe this week. And hopefully we'll see you in there in our Career Shifters group, and we'll see you next Monday.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.